What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. It's a Monday, which can mean only one thing. Of course, we're going to be checking out the world rankings to see what has shifted up due to those massive games on the weekend that happened during the Six Nations. And then afterwards, of course, we'll be checking out the Superbru results to see how people got on. I actually did okay this week. Feels like few and far between I actually get to say that in these videos, but I actually had a relatively good week this week. But starting out then with the world rankings. Now, of course, we had a couple of massive games on the weekend. Starting out then, we had Ireland against Italy. Ireland winning that one, so we see a few points going their way. They're still going to hold that top spot, but Italy certainly pushed them hard to get that win, but they did eventually come away with that win over in Italy. So they'll stay at the top there on 91.33. They've extended that points out ever so slightly, but still holding out that number one spot. France beating Scotland in another really awesome game, man. 25 minutes, 2 red cards, 4 tries, all just kicking off there. Scotland not managing to take that one away. So Scotland also remain in that 5th place position, and France remain in 2nd, but with a few more points, slightly trying to close up that gap. But they're very much holding 2nd. New Zealand and South Africa, of course, still extremely close in that 3rd and 4th position. And if France lose any of their remaining games, we could easily see them switch around and see those two teams move back up. Now, one of the big results that happened on the weekend, England beating Wales at home, as I sort of predicted in the preview video. But due to beating Wales in Cardiff, England get a big bolster of points. So they've moved away now from that. They were quite close towards Australia. They've moved much closer now. Still not moving up any positions. Still going to be in 6th, but that gap to Scotland, wow, is that thing closing up now? Only 0.15 difference between the two of them, and then the gap between 4th and 5th looking larger than ever, to be fair. So those top 4 teams really looking kind of isolated on their own little island out there at the minute. It's going to be a bit of a battle down here for 5th and 6th by the end of the Six Nations. Now, with Wales losing that game is really the only big news we have to talk about in terms of people shifting around. Wales now drop below Japan in the world rankings. Wales drop down to 76.88. Japan overtake, move up to 9th. Wales dropping down to 10th, almost out of that top 10. As a Wales fan myself, I'm very glad we did the World Cup draws when we did, because it's beginning to look a little bit hairy. In terms of the regions that you're looking at now, beyond Japan, Wales narrowing in on the teams such as Samoa. Georgia still feel like they've got a little bit of a gap on the way there, but one of the games we're going to be looking forward to by the end of this Six Nations final round, Wales versus Italy. Now, the points difference there still seems like quite big. Italy still down in 13th, which feels kind of mad considering how well Italy have been performing. I think that's a game Italy target a lot, and if Italy managed to beat Wales in that one, you could see them climbing the board and Wales in all sorts of desperate trouble. In terms of any of the Tier 2, Tier 3 nation stuff going on, still not a lot of news. I did think there were some games on the other week, but apparently not, because no one's moving around. Maybe there were some winners and some losers, but no one gained any points. Well, we can scroll all the way down to the bottom just because it is nice to see. So not a lot to talk about in terms of teams moving, but the big news from this one, that win over Wales, seeing them drop down into 10th place. Moving on then to the Superbru, where I had an all right time. In fact, even in the predictor. Unfortunately, a lot of you also did pretty well. So I didn't manage to exactly break away, but you can see over here, with my amount of green, all 3 correct and 2 match points. That's highly unusual for me. I'm down here. I'm in sort of 5th place, so I guess joint 5th. A lot of people here are all in, a lot of people got this right, all on that 5 points, getting that grand slam as well. But we'll have a look through at the teams to see how everyone got on. So Ireland winning that one by 14. I did extend it out. I think in the preview video, I think I said Ireland by 17. I should have stuck with that. And I sort of thought maybe they'll just extend it a bit more. Maybe they'll have a really good first half, exactly as I planned. I wasn't planning Italy to be quite as good as they were in that game. Superb from them. But in terms of the actual scoring, where you want it to be then, you want it to be around this area. And a couple of people went for exactly 14. Look at this. 3 people splitting it between all 3 of you. Cameron Fish, Kean and Schmittings all doing very well there in terms of getting it bang on. A couple of unlucky people though. People like Scottish Squid, Roach, Bowie, all of you guys only 1 point out, so you still get that match bonus point, but not the general bonus point for being closest. But a lot of people, in terms of the league, absolutely going there. Did anyone actually pick Italy? Let's have a quick glance down. No, it looks like no one picked Italy from ours, and it's sort of like the world rankings you'd suggest. 99% going for Ireland, 1% going for Italy, but no one in our group. So congratulations to you guys. Wales, England, man, this went sort of exactly how I expected it to. Unfortunately, and England, I think, will be a bit unhappy not to have won by more. There were a couple of people that backed Wales for this one, going all the Wales out to 8. I saw a couple of your guys comment thinking Wales have a chance to do this. Wales at home, normally pretty good, but the team at the minute just underperforming. A lot of people, though, in this one. Basically, if you went for England, you were basically there. Only 2 people missing out, or 3 people missing out. Sambuca, Scottish Squid, and Dojoba. I'm going to get people's names wrong. You guys were the only ones to pick England, not quite get there, but where you wanted to be was Villa Farrell, Beterav, and Rugby 15. All 3 of you guys, again, split between 3 people. People in this predictor group are so bang on every week. I feel like I do pretty well, but people are just beating me every single time. And then finally, France versus Scotland. What a game this was. What an enjoyable experience as a neutral to watch this game. Eventually, France winning by 11. I said France by 8. Scotland managed to, unfortunately, not manage to close that gap up. At one point, it looked like they could have even won it. Hugh Jones playing extremely well. Villa Farrell and Schmittings both going for 10. They won by 11. So you guys splitting that bonus point again. It's sort of helping the rest of us that the bonus point wasn't just given to one person. It's had to be divided on a few of these games. I was up here with a lot of the rest of you. On the 0.5, a couple of people went for a lower France win. I don't think that was a bad move at all. I think in the preview video I said France by 3, and then I sort of changed after thinking about it a bit more. A lot of people were going for Scotland, though. A lot of people thought Scotland might have just turned up to this one. I can't imagine what you guys were thinking when that first red card came in, but unlucky to you guys who all backed Scotland. But Villa Farrell and Schmittings there, both taking it on the 0.5. So in terms of the round, let's see how we got on. Well, there's a couple of names we've certainly said along the way a couple of times here. Schmittings takes the win on 3 win points, 1.5 match bonus points, and 0.83 bonus points. What a weird thing to get because of how many we've had split up. 6.33 sees you in first place. Congratulations to Schmittings on the winning this round. Villa Farrell is doing extremely well over this tournament as well. Has been getting some big points here. 5.83, not bad at all in that second place. Do you like curry? I mean, I do like curry, but I don't feel I've read your name at all through this tournament so far, but with a superb round, 5.5 getting in third place there. Beterav in fourth on 5.33. A bunch of us on 5, which is nice to see, split of course by this TDM. Oh, me and Sir E too there, just absolutely bang on in the same difference as well. So I guess we'll class ourselves as joint 5th. I think that's happy to do that one with. A couple of people getting 4.5 down here, a couple of 3.33s, 3s. As we move down towards the 2, a couple of people on 1, and unfortunately a couple of people still getting 0, either not locking them in or just picking the wrong ways this week. Taking a look at the leaderboards and how they are shaping up, though. I mean, I've said his name a few times today. Villa Farrell getting up there into first place, climbing 2 places now. 9 win points, 2 match points, and a couple of bonus points along the way. 14.83, playing extremely well. Beterav climbs up 3 places as well. Narrowly behind, only 1 point behind now. Joint with Schmittings UK, who also had another superb round in this one, getting up to 13.83 as well, climbing 4 places as well. Rugby 15 dropping down 3 places with everyone else doing so well. Connor does Rugby and Fortune dropping down 4 as well. Fantastic moves at 1. Mr. Cucumber, Gobi, and myself. Wow, I climbed 8. Hey! If anyone didn't know how poorly I tend to do at this tournament, the fact I can climb 8 places from having 1 good round should tell you that I'm normally not particularly good. Scottish Squid climbs 5 places. Ian drops down 7. Wasn't Ian winning after the end of the first round? Unfortunately, things going wrong for Ian along the way. Cameron Fish and Cesare 2 climbing that 9 places as well. Poxy down 7. Do you like curry? Up 12 after a fantastic round. This one up 12 places into 15th. GMC, a couple of people down here. Bears Gamer down on 2. Pierre climbs 9. Top Notch Rugby down 11. What happened, Top Notch Rugby? What happened this week? Not a good week for you. Kian climbs 4. Banana climbing up 7. And again, I think I said this last week. There's a couple of veteran names in this predictor who've been with the channel for the full 2 years who've won this tournament. And we're seeing names dropping down the list. There's a whole wealth of new knowledge coming into the Superbru. But congratulations to to Schmittings for winning the round, and congratulations to Villafaro for taking the lead on the leaderboard. Moving on then to the fantasy, where, what would you believe, guys? Your boy took this one this week. Mad Dragon at the top there, 210.5. Gravy coming in close on a 199. Apparently I was the only one to break 200, actually. I've only just realised that. Banana doing well there as well on a 185.5. A couple of people in the 180s, 170s. This was a weird week, this one. A couple of big choices that have happened in the last couple of weeks really underperforming. A lot of people went for Pinot, Duhan van der Merwe. Did he touch the ball? I mean, there was a couple of really big scorings. I have had a look through quite a few people's teams. And yeah, there's quite a big bulk actually down here in the 155, 140, 130 region. A couple of people really underperforming this well in terms of the fantasy. So we'll have a bit of a run through them. It's been really hard this week because, like I said, a lot of the big names, a lot of people choose, not necessarily performing the best. But we'll have a quick run through. So in terms of the props, I believe it was an all-English front row. I think Ellis Genge scored 10. I think Kyle Sinclair scored, 13.5. I think that was the way you wanted to go. You've had to make quite a big call and go for both English props, though. In terms of the hooker, Julien Marchand took the hooker only on 10, low for hookers this week. Not a lot of hookers really getting that close either. I think the next one after him was Jamie George. I think all of the England forwards got boosted after the final game. They went back and reevaluated some stats, I think. So all of the forwards got a few more points for that English side. In terms of the lock department there in the yellow, James Ryan, of course, getting his try, saw him on 16. The next highest one that I could find, I believe, was a Toje. A Toje eventually finished on 11. If anyone else had a lock that ended up higher, feel free to drop it down in the comment section. Loose forwards, man, what a hard one to work out this is, because so many loose forwards not necessarily scoring the big points. People like Keelan Doris been in the high double figures this week, only getting 9.5 and stuff. The best one I could find was Alex Dornbrandt, which is on 14 from being able to see other people's teams. It's a real shame Superbru doesn't have a nice breakdown for you. Van der Fleer got 10.5, and I think the final one might have even been Keelan Doris on 9. Yeah, loose forwards this week really not where you wanted to be. A lot of people went for captains as well, where you see the big red block tends to be the people have gone for their captain in that area, but not the place to be this one. In terms of your scrum halves, again, scrum halves not necessarily scoring the best. I think the best one anyone seemed to pick was Dupont again. It got 8.5, but I reckon Stephen Varney actually scored higher because, of course, he got his try. Dupont isn't a gold star player if you go look at your team, so someone did score higher than me. I imagine it's Stephen Varney, but unfortunately I've got nothing to validate that one. Fly half. Best fly half of the round was Finn Russell. Of course, if you had him just as a standard player, he scored 17. If you had him kicking, he was 23. There was technically a better kicker, but not a better fly half. Your centre partnership. Centres were where the big points were this week. Hugh Jones was the number one centre. He scored 20, and I kind of feel like he was a bit hard done by. I saw the TV coverage stats they showed on screen, and I did some quick maths, and I think he should have scored about 27. So Superbru's done him dirty a little bit with some of his points, but he scored 20, still the highest centre of the round. I don't know if I've actually ever seen a centre score 20, so fair play to Hugh Jones there. And the one after him was Bundy Aki on 16.5. Gael Ficou scored 15.5, so pretty close considering Bundy Aki scored 2 tries as well, but a few penalties given some points away for him. In terms of the back row then, wow, what a hard one this one was. So many big names just absolutely not performing. If you went for Thomas Ramos, which is who I went for, 23.5, and if you made him your kicker, he went up to 35.5, which is why you see my grey bar is 71.5. I extended out quite far by picking Ramos as a kicker. In terms of the people that didn't necessarily kick, Hugo Keenan, who I made my captain, scored 17, so scored pretty well there. James Lowe scored just underneath him. I think he got 16.5. Freddie Stewart scored 14, so I guess that's sort of in line with it. So a couple of people that didn't get picked, or I can't see what they did score, but I imagine scored kind of highly. I imagine Bruno scored well from that big interception try. Saw him run 50 metres and score a try. I've sort of your basic maths. I think he probably scores around 15 for that try alone. And maybe Zamet as well, similarly for that interception try. It's one of the reasons that Thomas Ramos made so many metres was the interception try. I imagine that carried over to them, but I couldn't see it through anyone's team. So, in terms of the round, congratulations to me. I guess that sounds kind of arrogant, doesn't it? But I came top, but congratulations to everyone else who did pretty well. And in terms of the leaderboards, how does that shake things up? Well, I'm going to look over here because it's the better leaderboard just to look at generally. Etai still holding out that number one spot, 575, doing enough to keep it going this week. Across the pond, climbing 5 places, closing that gap up now. Only 7.5 points in it, rose up 5 places. Third place, me. How have I made a comeback? I don't really know how this is possible. I thought I was sort of dead in the water with this one, but I've made a bit of a comeback. 566. I'm only 9 points behind Etai now. I can sort of feel like I actually have the opportunity to get back into this one. GMC 10 drops down 1 place onto 564.5. Joint with Rugby 15 on the same amount of points, close between you guys. Dave dropping down 4 places, but only 1 point behind, so it's hardly a bit of a fight out there for 4th place at the minute. Kelly raises 2. Suri up 3. Dan Can't Ruck up 3 as well. The man to beat this year. Of course, he won the last one, so he's the one everyone wants to try and compete against for this one. Whoa, Steenbach. I'm going to have a stab in the dark of that one. Drops down 4 places. Gravy climbing 14 with a superb round, coming second this week. Climbs 14 places. Cameron Fish and Klansman both dropped down. Fantastic Mr. Cucumber and Bears Game. There's a couple of names here that I feel like did well in the predictor and then did well in the fantasy. Maybe they sort of move over. Oh, sorry, Villa Farrell. Maybe not yourself. You did very well in the predictor, but the fantasy not going your way. Alex drops down 2. Josh Pierce dropping down 2. Top Notch Rugby down 1. Rob climbs 7 places, moving up towards the 20th place marker, moving towards that 500 point marker. A couple of names dropping down here, still in the 400 region. There's so many people playing it now. It's so hard to get through everyone's names. Banana climbs 1, and Kian. Both of you guys fighting it out there down towards the bottom. Poverty Swift still trying to play a little bit catch up down on 316.5, and a couple of people unfortunately still not getting that those teams in. So we'll probably be taking the wooden spoon. You can either claim it as a joint wooden spoon, or you can fight it out. Maybe play the last round and see who manages to take that one. But thank you to everyone who is taking part in the fantasy leagues. It's so much fun to get more engaged with you guys and play some of these, and especially when I actually do kind of well. I kind of enjoy those ones a little bit more. Over the weekend, of course, we also managed to get the channel to have 2,500 subscribers. We've managed to hit a bit of a milestone there. So thank you everyone who is subscribed to the channel, whether you're new because you've just found the channel due to the Six Nations, or you've been with the channel for a long time. Thank you to everyone for spending the time and subscribing to the channel and watching these videos and staying within the community. I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye bye.